First of all, we start a package. In our case, it's EasyPHP. The package contains MySQL database, Apache web server, and PHP. Here we can see that it's already running. Next, we start user command center. It's in a directory where is placed DCU design tool. We start user command center, and here we place login and password for our MySQL database. Then we start the service. When the service is running, we can start computational platform, either Matlab or Scilab. We start it, and inside this platform we will start design toolbox. But first of all, we have to change the directory of the platform to the directory where is placed our design tool. Now, in case of Matlab, we can type the command that will call the interface of our design toolbox. Again, here we place login and password of our MySQL database, and we click OK. The interface will start. And here we can see that the user command center is online. Now we can open a project or create a new project. Let's say we create a new project. For the project, we create a new directory. And inside this directory we place the file of our project. Now we have to pick up a diagram, control application diagram. We can choose one from our example. And this is our control application diagram that is attached to our project. This block, this super block, is dynamic control unit, real-time controller. To modify general parameters of the entire controller, we click right, edit mask, and initialization. Inside initialization is code called control unit general parameters. We have identification of the control unit, sampling times, connection parameters, encryption if required, users definition, modbus settings, serial link settings, and some special. To draw a diagram of control application, we double click the super block and we see our control application diagram. We can copy functions, connect functions, or add functions from a library. We may open DCU library and copy from this library any function we want and place it into our diagram. When we finish designing the control application by connecting the control function blocks, we can save the project and continue. Any control function, if double clicked, may be modified, its parameters can be modified. We can see parameters of the control function, and from here we can see control variable parameters. Each control function output has its own control variable. When we have finished working, we save the diagram. We may do simulation if required. When all is finished and it's working nice in simulation, we close the diagram and we can translate the diagram by clicking on this button. As a warning, diagram must be saved and closed. Okay, here we can see processing, translation. Translation successful, and we see that we have some warning, 83 unconnected outputs. It means that some control functions has its output not connected, but it's not a problem. After translation, we see in this list our translations. We have only one translation, and inside this translation we have one control unit. Control unit have these connection parameters. Using these connection parameters, we can try to connect to our control unit. Before we can connect online with control unit, we had to set properly our communications. So first of all, we have to connect our PC or notebook to either the network of controllers, or we can make also peer-to-peer connection with our control unit. So when we have to physically connect our PC to our control units. When it's done, we can change network connection parameters to the parameters of our network. In our case, we use this IP for our PC 10.0.0.2. And now we are connected to our network. Our controller has IP address 10.0.0.10. It's the default IP address of a new control unit. Now we can try if the unit is responding. Okay, unit is responding properly. We have one little error, high unit power supply voltage, but it's not a problem. What we can do now, we can read real-time system parameters. We can see that our real-time system is version 1.14.9.9. This is MAC address of our control unit and other parameters. Now we can proceed to download. We have translated our control application, so we can load it into real-time controller, into control unit. Loading takes some time, and we see that user command center is processing our control application load. All the time we see in this line what is actually happening. So we wait. Finished. Control unit control application upload successful. Start control application. Yes, we can start control application. We see in this window that execution is stopped, so we start it. From now on, the control application is running inside control unit. Also, after load, we see in this list online control unit. After loading, we see this line, and we can use this button to access online controller. So we can modify control application. We can start or stop our application. We can see general parameters of our control unit. These parameters we saw in diagram. We see also file from which was the diagram taken, and all the parameters. These parameters were already read from control unit. Next we can set and get time of our real-time unit. We can synchronize time and date with our PC. Successful. We can check also if monitoring is running or history recording, if the process data is stored into MySQL database. Actually, now it's off. In this list we can display online elements. Now we can see general parameters, but by selecting online controller, online control unit displays, we can display control functions. Now we see all control functions that are actually inside dynamic control unit. Also control variables. Control variables are outputs of these functions. If we want to see actual state of our control variable, we select control variable and click this button. We see that actual value is 0 of this control variable. We can set the variable into override if we like it, if we want. Now we see that we have static override of this control variable. Or go to automatic mode. We can also display signals, but we have to have recording, which is actually off. Or update parameters, or launch a process experiment procedure. This will open another window. Into this window we place control variables that will have constant override. Select variable and we add it to the list. All these variables will have constant override when process experiment running. Dynamic override, we can select variables for dynamic override and we select. Finally, we select also recorded variables. We can choose the same as in the dynamic or constant override. When we have selected all the variables, we can start